Welcome everyone to this year's New Voices in Global Education and Learning Conference. My name is Andreas Rockel. I'm an early career researcher from the University of Oulu. And I'm just going to give like a small introduction today. And on behalf of my other colleagues who are also all just like me, early career researchers. So this conference really is created by early career researchers for early career researchers. And it's not just us, but we also collected some feedback from last year's event. We also had a feedback survey. And so we then, got together and we talked about the conference, and we basically said that, the two main goals, which are quite clear from the feedback we got, is to create a conference where we have a lot of opportunities for networking, for making connections, but also to have a conference where, people can get a lot of feedback, can get a lot of support. And, so we, for example, also very consciously decided to admit some submissions from researchers who are still in a very early stage of their research, who, for example, want to have some feedback on their research ideas, maybe the feasibility of their research. So I think we're going to have a very interesting discussion. And I think generally speaking, it's actually going to be, quite nice. We have, like I said, a very good mixtures of presentations, like, some very early stage, some later stage, but we also have presentations from very different cultural contexts. We have a lot of presentations and, which look at different areas of Africa, for example, of Asia, of course, of Europe, but also Australia. And I think I haven't read all abstracts, but I think the only area that's a little bit missing is North America and South America, which is also, difficult with time zones. But I really believe that, with having all these very different presentations, we can have very active and very interesting discussions today.
So yes, a very warm welcome to everyone. I'm Douglas Bourne. I'm Professor of Development Education, University College London. I'm one of the co-chairs of the ANGEL Network. I was responsible for helping to establish the network in 2017, we saw the need to bring together a whole range of academics and researchers from around the world to share what they were doing around global education learning, around global citizenship and education for sustainable development. And since our start in 2017, we've grown to have over 1,000 contacts from all around the world, people who are very established academics, researchers, but increasingly a larger number of early career researchers like many of you who involved this conference today. And to me, one of the great strengths and successes of our field has been the way in which it's become an increasingly popular and increasingly relevant area of research and debate. And we know that from when we set the network up in 2017 to where we are today, the demand and interest in themes like global citizenship, around sustainability, around climate change are far greater than they were even a decade ago. So there's such a thirst and demand for evidence of researchers, for people to learn and share from each other. So the network that we established has played an important role in raising awareness of academic research that's taken place around the world. We produce a digest of recently published material in a range of languages. We have a very active website in which we keep up to date with what's happening. And we also organize a number of webinars, usually about 7 or 8 a year, that are a way of people sharing what research they're doing. But I think increasingly important part of our work is how we can support researchers make contact with each other and learn from each other. Because as we still know that in many countries around the world, our area of research and debate is often on the margins and seen not to be mainstream. But what we're finding is that increasingly more and more policymakers and practitioners are recognizing the value of our work. An important part of our work has been to work in partnership with Global Education Network Europe, GENE, who have been very generous in their support and funding for the development of the ANGEL Network. And I'd like to thank them, and through them, the European Commission, who played a very major role in developing our field. And the other thing that we try and do is that we try and put people in touch with people who want to publish articles. We have connections with 4 or 5 academic journals around the world. We've also have a very close working relationship with Bloomsbury Publishing, and we've produced a couple of books already with them. And I've got a book now, working on a book from the last Angel conference. And I think the sense in which more that we can do to raise awareness and provide support to people, very welcome to do that. but also welcome to, value hearing from yourselves about if there are areas of research or work that you would like to develop in partnership with others. Please let us know, and we're looking at developing more special interest groups in the next year or so, and also developing networks at a sort of regional level in different regions around the world. And there has been recent discussions about a network around the Asia Pacific region, and also in Latin America and South Asia. So we are looking at ways in which we can support people come together. So the Angel Network is growing in terms of development of our work. But as this conference, I'm sure you'll see, what's above all important is that we provide a space where people can learn and share from each other. So like everyone else, I'm really looking forward to hearing a lot of the presentations today, and possibly from that ways in which we can support people in taking their work further forward. So great thanks to all the team involved in organising today. And I'll now pass on to Raika, who's going to talk about the digest.
So my name is Riikka Suhonen. I'm also part of the ECR Network Facilitators Group. And I will just talk very briefly about the digest that Doug also mentioned just now, because I see many people probably know it. There's a lot of people who have participated in the work here present, but I'll just share very quickly for those who don't know it, because it is a very good resource to find out what is happening in the field of research in global education and learning. So hopefully you should see now my screen. Yes. So with the Angel Network website, so there you can find the information on the Global Education Digest, the most recent version that was published last March. So this was the 6th edition and had 9 languages involved. So the idea really is to gather the most recent research published in a particular language. And I've been in the Finnish language team, but as I mentioned, we have probably quite many people online right now following the session. Well, English, first of all, of course, is the major language, but I think really the value of the digest is to also look at all these other languages and what has been published in them. So if you are able to speak or at least understand or use Google Translate to kind of at least go through the different topics that there are, and using the search function in the database that is now available with the help of University of Bologna. So that's very, very useful tool to find out the latest research in different languages. So as you can see, English, Finnish, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Polish, Slovak, and Spanish were involved in the latest version. But there is a very strong welcome from the Angel to have more languages. So if you are part of a language group that is not mentioned already in the digest here, you can maybe contact Kester. So just to open the database to show how it looks like and where you can search. I can put the links in the chat if Kester didn't already do that. But here with the search function, you can basically look for different languages, different years, well, different authors. So I could write my name and then it would pop out the publications that are under my name, for example. So I really suggest you to take a look at the digest, look at the database to see what is out there in the field of global education and learning.
And yeah, there's another, you can see again our program, our outline. So please join your breakout rooms and your sessions, and then we will continue our conversations in smaller groups. I think at the end, like I mentioned in the very beginning, for the Angel Network, we also want to start having a blog now, which is a very good writing exercise. But if you want to get involved, I think can also help to, for example, improve your skills of reviewing. And I think we're going to have like a small introduction of the blog by, I think, Julia and Giacomo.
Yeah, I could say a few words about the blog. And so the blog, the information about the blog is also on a Padlet. And yeah, we invite everybody here, whether you're a presenter or just an audience, that's all fine. Please feel free to write something about your presentation, your thoughts on this conference. And the blog doesn't need to be too long, from 500 words to 1,000 words would be fine. And well, apart from today's conference, there are lots of different other topics that you can write about, like your own research, your own method, your own reflections of academic life, and also anything else. We also welcome commentary pieces like a movie or a documentary about global citizenship education or about global learning, global education. So that's all quite welcome. So all submissions are through a Google form, which is also on the Padlet. You can choose to post anonymously if you like. But if you like to be recognized for your work, you can include a short bio of yourself and also a picture. So everything is on Padlet. So we really welcome your contribution to this, and we look forward to build a more like dynamic Angel ECR community through this blog.
Yes, hello everyone. I've just put a link in the chat through to the Padlet, also to the web page for the ECR network, which explains basically how you can ensure you're getting all the necessary emails. Currently, the way that the communication is working is both through emails, which I send via our sort of mailing software, but there's also a Google Classroom, which is, I think, used to provide sort of a peer-to-peer communication. And once you've joined that, you'll be fully able to post stuff that you're working on, calls for papers, or ask for set up opportunities for collaboration. So if you go to the Angel website page that I posted in the chat, you'll be able to link through to that Google Classroom. I'm also going to post a link. I don't know if this has been mentioned yet, but we had the suggestion of a follow-up session with the editors of 4 major journals in global education and learning, which is ZET, the International Journal of Development Education and Global Learning, Policy and Practice, and the Synergius Journal. So we've got a proposed date for that, which is on the 26th of June. I think it's 5 to 6 Central European time. So if you can just have a look at that and let us know, well, A, if you can make it, or B, if you're interested but can't make that date. And then we're going to try, if we get enough interest, we'll schedule that session. And if possible, we might be able to find an alternative date that would suit you. It would be really helpful if you could, both for us as the Angel Secretariat, but also for the facilitators of this group, if you could feedback on this event as well with any comments about how it could have been improved or what you might like to see next time, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
But yeah, I think besides that, there's nothing really else in the program besides, of course, us, trying to encourage you to join our network, because the more we are, the more interaction, the more access to resources, the more fun it is as well. So, please check out the Padlet, please join the Early Career Researcher Network for Angel, and then we hope to see you in many of the other sessions.
And Andreas, one more thing, you are also more than welcome to join our facilitators group, because I think there are 9 of us, and it's all a very friendly group of people that we are doing it all, voluntarily with a lot of energy, and it's really a nice experience. So there are no requirements as long as you are an ECR and you have some time and energy to do it. Please feel welcome.
Yes, there's also, I left some contact details of myself there. If you want to be very actively involved in organizing some of the activities, you can also reach out. But like, there is also on the Google Classroom, there's an extra folder for this kind of organizational tasks. So, everybody is always very welcome to join us. Otherwise, I will say thank you so much for all the presenters. Thank you so much for Angel for all the support that we had. And then also thank you so much for all of the participants and their active participation. So, we really appreciate it. And I think it was a great opportunity for everyone.